Hello everyone, and in today's video we're going to be going over why most people fail at YouTube automation. The first reason why most people fail is that they know nothing about their niche. So a common thing that I always come across is that people who are just starting off YouTube automation, they're going into niches in which they know nothing about. And that's kind of already giving their quote-unquote competitors the edge when their competitors know things about their niche as to when they don't know anything about their niche. So notice how if you watch all my videos, you'll notice that I do preach the niche of sports, and that's because I know sports extremely well. So with that in mind, something I want you to consider and think about is if I'm telling you go into sports, I'm not the slightest bit worried that you're gonna come in and crush the sports niche, simply because number one, I know the niche very, very well. And number two, I already have channels established in sports. And number three, people who are listening to me and going into sports when they know nothing about sports, you should kind of go the other way and go into a niche that you actually know about. By knowing your niche, you can think of good topic ideas, you can think of good title ideas, you can think of good thumbnail ideas. So go into a niche in which you know something about and you'll have the advantage. It's a lot easier to, like for example, me in sports, I can very, very easily come up with topics simply because I know sports and I also consume sports content just casually on a daily basis. Like when I browse through Instagram for leisure and not business purposes, I'm scrolling through sports news. When I eat breakfast in the morning and I'm watching TV, I'm watching sports news. So with that, it makes it very easy on my end to go into a niche in which I know a lot about. And I'm sure there's things that you can go into. Just take a step back and ask yourself, what are things that you're constantly always into and keeping track of? Let's say maybe that's the upcoming Marvel movies, or maybe it's upcoming TV shows, or it's upcoming latest Apple gadgets, latest cars. All of those niches are things that most people don't talk about. And again, twist it in a way in which it's catered to your favor. It's catered in a way in which you have the advantage as compared to someone who doesn't know anything about that niche. Tied to that, a mistake that people are also doing is that they're hiring people who know nothing about their niche. This can go both ways. Yes, people can research your topics even though they don't know anything about sports, but ideally, or they don't know anything about your niche, but ideally you should be hiring people who have some familiarity with the niche that you're starting. So on my Upwork job listings, a question that I've sometimes asked is, how well do you know this niche, from a 0 to 10 scale, with 0 not knowing the niche at all and a 10 being I am extremely familiar with this niche. So something to consider. I must admit though that I have hired people who know nothing about the niche and they have been able to write good content on it, for example. So it works both ways. Now, moving on to the second thing is that people starting off with YouTube automation and why they fail, they just simply fit in with the flock. So what I mean by this is I can't tell you how many crypto channels I've seen that are all doing the same thing. I can't tell you how many make money online, stocks, finance channels that I've seen, and they're all doing the same thing. Thumbnails are similar, video topics are similar. I kind of had my breakthrough when, number one, my first viral video, it was a twist on a video that has already been posted onto YouTube. But other breakthroughs that I've had are ideas in which I've thought of and no other video has done it before on YouTube. And so that means like targeting specific keywords, and it wasn't verified because it wasn't done on YouTube before and I was the first one to do it. I've had videos hit off like that, but all too often, a lot of people are just copying others and it just becomes an endless cycle of there's a ton of people make money online videos that are tutorial videos without showing their face. There's a ton of videos doing stocks, crypto, taking like actual footage and audio clips from speeches of famous or really successful rich people. A lot of people are doing the same thing. And so you really got to think what's going to make you different, even if it's just the slightest bit of difference, because if you're not going to be the first to do something, you got to be different in some way. So try not to fit in with the flock. It's okay to take original ideas and twist them in your own way, but don't copy other channels. Don't copy topics word from word. Make it different, make it your own twist, and that's what's going to help make you succeed with YouTube automation. Now, moving on to the third thing, they give up too easily. So there's no magical number of videos that you have to post that guarantees you success on YouTube. So what I mean by this is a common number that always gets thrown around is, if my channel doesn't work within 30 videos, should I just quit? I don't know why people choose 30 videos, maybe because there is 30 days in a month, but seriously, there's no magic number that you have to post that guarantees you success on YouTube. When I start channels, I've had videos where I posted like less than 30 videos and the channel hasn't worked. I've had channels where I've posted over 150 videos and the channel is like barely working. So don't give up too easily. Think about YouTube as a long-term game. One thing I do want to note is that if you do post on YouTube and you're continuously posting like 3 months down the road, you should kind of get an idea as to whether or not your niche or channel is working or not. And at that point, you should decide whether or not to pivot channel ideas or channel niches and go into a different direction. So again, I can't give you a solid number, but also don't limit yourself just to 30 videos. I mean, it's okay if you have like a limited capital, and let's say that you only have $3,000 to invest in YouTube automation. That is roughly, let's say, 30 videos. So if after 30 videos it doesn't work for you, you're out, that's fine, because that's reasonable and that's capital based. But if you have the capital, think about YouTube in the long term. There is no magic number. Post consistent quality content, and that is what's going to guarantee you success on YouTube. Now, the fourth thing is that their topics are garbage. So I have a lot of videos and also a course itself dedicated to how to research topics, just because it's such an essential thing to go over. It's like basically the foundation of your video. And if you're spending X amount of money to create a video on this topic, you want to make sure that your topic is good, right? So how to research topics, it really stems down to choosing topics that people actually want to watch. As cliche as it sounds, there's a lot of people creating topics for videos in which people don't really care about them, or they're just not unique enough for people to actually want to click on them. So don't choose garbage topics. I have a video dedicated to how to research topics, so I'll link that down below in the description. But even so, there's multiple ways you can research topics. Use Tubebuddy, use Google search bar, use the YouTube search bar, use your audience tab, go through your social media, see what other accounts are talking about. A lot of ways to research topics and be unique, and especially be creative when it comes to YouTube automation. Now, moving on to the fifth thing why most people fail with YouTube automation, it's because their titles and thumbnails are garbage. So again, I also have a course dedicated to this, just because I feel like topic research training and YouTube thumbnail designs, those two skills are absolutely crucial when it comes to succeeding with YouTube automation. So titles and thumbnails, a common mistake that people have is that their thumbnails are way too crazy. There's a lot of pinpoints on them. So I follow a strategy called the 3-point thumbnail rule, in which if there's more than 3 points in your thumbnail that the eyes are attracted to, then it's too confusing of a thumbnail. So how to create good titles and thumbnails. With thumbnails, try to keep that strategy in mind. 3 main points. If your thumbnail has more than 3 main points, it's probably too confusing. And as far as titles go, just make it creative. Have your keyword at the beginning of your title. And ideally, you want to make it appeal to human viewers. A lot of the times people are way too caught up on optimizing for the search engine, when they have to understand that the search engine is run by humans. Optimize your titles for a human viewer experience. Now, moving on to the sixth thing why people fail with YouTube. And it's because their videos are garbage. So the past 3 points have just been about bad things, and I'll try my best to kind of help you guys improve as to what constitutes a good quality video. When you start posting on YouTube is gonna be your best teacher as to deciding what videos work and what videos don't work. So if you post a video on YouTube and it's got like 10% average view duration, you're gonna see metrics as to why it got 10% average viewer duration. So for my metrics, I do aim for over 30% average viewer duration. And also for first 30-second average viewer duration, I try to make my intros as good as possible and as catchy as possible, because it's a fact that if people watch past the first 30 seconds of your video, they're more likely to watch the rest of the video. So with that, if there's a part of your video which you're really gonna focus on the first 30 seconds and just make sure that the rest of your video is like okay quality. You wanna make sure your video starts straight to the point. There's a lot of typography, a lot of clip transitions in the first 30 seconds. You want to make sure that the voiceover is clear. You want to make sure that the intro is short, get straight to the point. A lot of things you can do that helps improve the intro. And again, if you improve the intro, you're going to improve the rest of your video. Aim for above 30%. Sometimes my videos can get as high as like 49%. That, in my experience, is what constitutes a good quality video. Now, if you're interested to see what the reality of being a YouTuber is like, then you're going to want to watch this video next on what happened after I posted for 365 days straight onto YouTube.